Good day, learners. We are back again. In this video, we will be focusing on relationships. Relationships between cubic and its first derivative and its second derivative. Let's confirm. Remember, I said if your f of x, sorry, let me change the color. If your f of x is equals to ax cubed plus bx squared plus cx plus c, which is your cubic, your f prime x will be in terms of ex squared plus bx plus c. Then your f prime x will be what? Ax plus b. Remember. So now we are going to discuss the relationships between these three things. So we have f of x, and we have f prime x, and we have f prime x. And remember, I said if f of x is a cubic, then f prime x is a parabola or quadratic. I don't know which one do you prefer. It's the same thing. Quadratic. Then your f prime is your linear. So let's go plot them. We can see that our f of x will be the blue one. Let me label it with blue. This is our f of x. Then the brown one is our f prime x, since it's a parabola. Then the black one is our linear, which is what? F prime of x. So now we are going to discuss the relationships between these three. So after we have discussed the relationships, you will be able to draw f prime x or f prime x when given f of x without calculating anything, and you'll be able to interpret when they say for which values of x is f of x multiplied by f prime x, because you'll be able to imagine and capture the graph of f prime x in your mind. So now let's start with relationships between f of x and f prime x. So we go back. What do you see? Remember, what I'm going to say is always correct. It's always correct. Even if you are given a different f of x, we can see that our f of x in this case is increase, decrease, increase, meaning our a is positive. So even if you are given your f of x, your a being negative, that means your shape will change. Even your f prime x, the shape will change and be concave down. Even your linear will be a decreasing function, the shape will change. So in this case, our a is positive. That means our f prime x is concave up, our f prime is increasing. So now let's look at f prime x and f of x, the relationships. First thing that we see is that, let's go and write. You can see, let me use a different color. You can see that your f here is increasing, your f of x up to here. Remember, when I'm talking now, just look at the yellow dotted lines. Then here is decreasing. Here it's increasing. For you to understand the relationships, you must imagine. Remember, I said when we derive and find f prime x, we find what? We find the coordinates of the turning points. That means our relationships must be based on the turning points, because f prime x gives us the x values of the turning points of our f of x, and that formula is what? Is a parabola. So here we can see that when our f, you see, when your f of x is increasing, what is happening to your f prime x? Your f prime x is positive. We can go and write that. The first one, when f of x is increasing, your f prime x is what? is positive. That's the first one. The second one is that we can see that when f of x is decreasing, you see I wrote decreasing, what is happening to your f prime x? Your f prime x is negative, you can see. Remember, positives and negatives, we see them by looking at our y-axis. Remember, here our y-axis is positive and here our y-axis is negative. That means our graph is negative below the x-axis and above the x-axis is positive. So in this case, we can see that when our f of x is decreasing up until here, see the dotted line, your f prime x is what? Is negative. When f of x is decreasing, then f prime x is negative. That means we can see even the last one, which is when f of x is increasing, then f prime x is positive. Let's go and check it. Let's go and confirm that one. It's increasing again here. What is happening to f prime? Is positive. That is the first relationship between f of x and f prime x. And another one, remember I said we are looking at the turning points. We can see that the x values of your turning points, which are this one, this is the x value of turning point in the yellow line here. Even here in the yellow line, these are your x values of your turning points of f of x. But then we can see that they are what? They are your x-intercepts. You can see x-intercept. Remember, x-intercept is where y is 0. So we can conclude that the x values, specifically the x values of your turning points of your f of x, which is your cubic, are what? Are your x-intercepts of your quadratic, which is what? F prime x. Let's go and write that one. I said your x values of f of x of turning points of f of x are your x-intercepts of your f prime x. That's the second difference. Now the last difference, last but not least, let's go and check that one. We saw it. Let's go and check the point of inflection, the concavity. Remember, point of inflection, I said, is where your graph changes its concavity. So now let's look at the point of inflection. This yellow line. That means our point of inflection is here, POI. This is our point of inflection. So what is happening? We can see that the x value of our point of inflection, the x value of our point of inflection of f of x is what? Is equal to the x value of your turning point of your parabola. X value of point of inflection of f of x is equal to the x value of the turning point of f prime x. So be careful. I said the x value. I did not talk about the y value. I was specific. I said what? The x value. Meaning the x value only. Nothing else but the x value. So now let's check. Now let's not talk about the concavity. But we can see, let me just say it. We can see that when your f of x, remember, for concavity is the point of inflection. Your graph changes its concavity on the point of inflection. So we can see that from your point of inflection here, change the color. From here, going to the left, your graph is concave down. And you can see when your graph is concave down of f of x, your graph of g of x of f prime x is what? Is decreasing. But then from here going to the right, your graph of f of x is concave up, and we can see that your f prime x is what is increasing. Now let's talk about, we don't have the whole day. Now let's talk about the relationship between f of x and f prime x. F prime prime x. No, the relationship between f of x and f prime x. F of x and f prime prime x, which is the straight line. So here there's nothing major. Just look at the point of inflection. You can just say when your f of x is concave down, your graph is negative. You can see, remember I said from the point of inflection going to the left, your graph is concave down, and we can see our straight line is negative. When f is concave down, f prime prime x is negative. That means when f is concave up is vice versa. Concave up, your f prime prime x is what? Is positive. Let's check. From here going that side is concave up. That means your f prime is positive. F prime prime is positive, which is your straight line. That's the relationship between f of x and f prime prime. And we can see that the x value of the point of inflection of f is what? Is the x-intercept. X-intercept of what? Of f prime prime x. So we can see that the x value of the point of inflection is indeed the x-intercept of our straight line. Now, I will just say this once. The relationship between your f prime x and f prime prime x, which is your parabola and your straight line. I won't write them. I will just be saying them because of time. So, by looking at this diagram, let me just zoom this diagram so that you can see clearly. By looking at this diagram, we can see that when we are talking about the relationship between our f prime x and f prime prime x being our straight line and our parabola, let's see. The x-intercept, the x value of your x-intercept of your straight line is what? Is the x value of your turning point of your parabola. You can see it, that one. Then we can again say when your parabola is decreasing, meaning when your f prime x is decreasing, your f what? F prime prime x is what? Is negative. We can see that one. And when your f prime x is increasing, your f prime prime x is what? Is positive. Thank you for your time. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. If you have a question, just post it on the comment section. I will respond to your question as soon as possible. Thank you.